Six Nations round 3 just wrapped up right now with the game of France versus Italy. What a crazy ending on that one. Let's just start off with that match. It's Sunday and the match ended in a draw, 13-13. Italy had a chance, man. Like, are they a cursed nation and team? Like, seriously, at the 81st minute had a chance to get that kick, the penalty kick, win the game. He kicks it, Garbisi, off the right post, just inches from winning the game and closing it out and getting their first win of this Six Nations. But instead, they are in a draw with France. So they are 0-1-2 on this tournament, and France goes to 1-1-1, and so they're sharing the points. And overall, I felt like it started out for me. It was a slower match, really. The game wasn't high pace or impact or like very interesting until the final minutes of the game. But it started out, to me, France was dominating. They were bullying Italy in the scrums at the very beginning. And to me, I had France winning initially when before the game started. I had them winning by a 15-point spread, and you know, the France let me down on this one. They let me down. They started off really tough, and they were really playing a dominant game. I felt like there was a lot of mishandling in this game. There was, at some point, the stat popped up that France had 5 mishandles and Italy had 3. So there were a lot of mistakes going on in the match, and I just felt that France would have started clicking a little bit better and started putting it on Italy, because France is just a more dominant team. I think they have overall better players right now, and they have a better system as far as a rugby team. But they let me down, man. Once that second half hit, they came out immediately. The ref gave a red card because a yellow card was given, and after mitigation, he came out with a red card, so it put France a man down. So they were playing with 14 men on the field the entire second half, which was very gutsy of France to do, because for the score to end up the way it did, to me, it shows how much a better team they are. Because even with Italy being a man up, they took advantage of the opportunities they had and scoring, getting a quick 3 and then getting a try to tie the game at 13-13. Italy did a good job of fighting back, but being at a disadvantage for France, it should have been, I feel like Italy should have had more impact. So it shows to show how dominant that France is and a better team they are, to me, than Italy. But overall, man, it was a good match. It wasn't the most exciting match of the weekend for me. France is a team that I feel like they're underperforming. They have the ability to really be a dominant team, especially from what I saw from them in week 1 playing against Ireland. And they just haven't lived up to that expectation for me. And Italy, to me, they're overplaying. They're overplaying, especially for who they are as a team. I feel like they should have gotten their first win today. France left the door open in so many opportunities, and Italy was not able to capitalize on them, especially with that ending sequence with them missing that kick. Just heartbreaking to end that game in a tie. I feel like Italy should have won that one 16-13, but you know, that's how the cookie crumbles, as they say here in America, Qrew. But overall, it was a good match. Not my favorite one of the weekend. I believe and know my favorite weekend match was Scotland versus England, just because that one just had the most energy coming out from the anthem at the beginning of the game, the nation singing their song. You could see the pride and the energy through the stadium. I could just sense it and feel it through my headset. And when I got into watching it, man, both teams started off with a fast pace. The score ended up being 30-21, Scotland winning. Scotland played an incredible game. They started off slow. They had, I believe, the first 4 or 5 possessions they had, they looked horrible. They weren't doing anything with it. So it took them about 4 or 5 possessions to finally get the game going. But after that, they finally started clicking and working as a team, and they just were on fire. And England started off very high paced. The first try of the match, their teamwork was incredible, just moving the ball with ease and grace and flow. I was like, this is the England team that I came to expect. Like, in my mind of watching and coming into the Six Nations as a beginner, thinking England was going to be this dominant powerhouse. They finally gave glimpses of that to me in the beginning of that game, and I was like, oh man, England is on fire. They're running on all cylinders right now and looking good. And they started off the match very well, and then just steadily dropped their pace, their consistency. They started making terrible plays, having knock-ons, and just not taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented. And as the match progressed on the live stream, I was talking with a lot of you, and the consensus that we came to is like they look like chickens with their head cut off. They were trying to make things happen, especially in the second half, but it looked like there was no strategy behind what they were doing. They were just moving the ball, looking like, here in America, we say like schoolyard football. It just means like playground football, like where you're out there just having fun and just doing things at random. It looked like to me that in the second half, England was doing things at random. There was no strategy behind the plays they were trying to make, and they weren't really capitalizing on any opportunities. Their defense started breaking down, and Scotland did just an incredible job of taking advantage of that. Scotland, I have to give a massive shout out. They became, to me, what looked like a super cohesive unit. It finally looked like they just gelled and came together as a team. Everything looked like it was on fire. That touch that Finn Russell, he just touched it, and Van der Merwe just catches it on the edge. And what a game by Van der Merwe. Oh my gosh, a hat trick? Insane. They made it look effortless. They made it look absolutely effortless against England. So the score, to me, although it was close with 30-21, it doesn't dictate how bad that England played. And I'm just shocked, man, because I was really expecting a real tight, like, just battle of the giants going against one another. And it started out like that, but then it just ended off fading off where England, just failed to meet my expectations again. And they just, weren't able to put it together. And the best thing I can think of, it just looked like they were unorganized. I guess is the best word I can think of. They just looked very unorganized, looked like there was no strategy behind what they were doing, especially in the second half, and just were not able to do anything as a team. So hopefully they can regroup and pick it up here in round 4, but we'll see. That's a couple weeks from now, and we'll just see how it all picks up. But man, massive love to Scotland. Incredible match played by them all around. I feel the hat tricks by Van der Merwe, he was the man of the match. Just what can you say? They just looked like they were firing on all cylinders, and just a team. It was a complete team win, and massive shout out to Scotland. And just, man, I think if they continue down this path and we get to the last game of Six Nations with Ireland versus Scotland, that might be the deciding game to me, where it decides who's going to win the tournament. But man, Ireland is looking absolutely insane. Incredible. They played Wales, and a headline I saw was a man against boys is what it looked like. And it pains me to say that, because I want to see Wales do incredibly well, because first, my team is in Wales, right? So I want to show love to my team and my crew out there. And they just look like they did a great job. Like, I feel like Wales should be proud of themselves, because as a young team, to stand up the way they did against a powerful, a dominant, and just an overall better Irish team, Wales did a fantastic job. So the score ended up being 31-7 Ireland, but Wales did a fantastic job, putting themselves together, putting themselves out there. A young team. I know I say it all the time, they're a young team, but man, they did a great job, like, enforcing their will on Ireland, especially early in the game. And they weren't just getting overpowered, especially in the beginning of the match. They kept it close, but it just was not completely there. They started tapering off. They looked tired near the end of the match, which when I think, just because of the bruising nature, like the power of Ireland, they were able just to keep on continuing as the game progressed, just wear Wales down to a point of just exhaustion. And that's when they started just converting easy tries and scoring. But Ireland is looking absolutely unstoppable. Right now, I have them winning the Grand Slam, going undefeated in the tournament. And the only team that I can see really putting up a fight against them, and they have to really, really put up a fight. And Ireland has to have an off day, and Scotland has to have the most incredible day of their life to upset Ireland, in my opinion. But Scotland's the only team, I think, at this point that can mix it up with Ireland right now. And because France had their chance the first week and completely dropped the ball, but Scotland's the only team that I can see that can, could potentially shake up the standings in a sense. But yeah, the game with Ireland and Wales, it was a dominant match by Ireland. Wales did a good job, but just not strong enough at this point as a team, as a unit, and so they sort of got bullied on the pitch. And Ireland they play mistake-free rugby. They do an incredible job of teamwork. They look incredibly cohesive. They look like their strategy is just on point. They're well coached, and I just have to give a massive shout out to them, man. They are far surpassing, because as I came into this as brand new, they far surpassed my expectation of like what a dominant team looks like. Because when I came into rugby, I was looking at like New Zealand's and those teams, but seeing how the Irish team plays and just how they just click on all cylinders, it looks like they just have that camaraderie, and that unit is just dominant. They're able to enforce their will on people because their size and strength, but they also have the speed and strategy to make plays happen and just play the field just so open and free. And they absolutely look like they make the game look effortless. They make the game of rugby look effortless to me. And so they've taught me a lot just by watching them, of like what a great team in rugby looks like. So Ireland's a team that has been teaching me a lot in rugby as far as like a well-oiled machine. South Africa, New Zealand, those tier 1 teams like that. And it's really cool to see, man, when a team is firing on all cylinders like that. It's enjoyable to watch, and it just reminds me of just like dominant teams in any sport. They're just hard to beat, and you can see why. And it starts from the top, man. It starts from the top down. And so the organization is doing an incredible job of coaching, and the players are responding well. And on the field, they just look like they are just playing, having so much fun, and like making it look effortless out there, Crew. But that's my reactions for this week. I think overall, it was a great round 3. Scotland England was my match of the weekend, just because the excitement and the legacy of that rivalry, right? The Calcutta Cup is what I learned about, and just seeing how embedded that rivalry is, how long and historic it is. It was incredible to watch, and you could sense, and I could sense the energy in the stadium, and just hearing the comments on stream and just educating me on more of like what that battle is about and what the rivalry stems from was absolutely incredible. And I love learning that, like learning what fuels that rivalry. So it was cool to watch. So that was my match of the weekend. Today's match was actually more exciting than the Irish Wales match, which is shocking because I thought France and Italy was going to be like a snoozer. It started off slow, but the ending picked up, and that was like my second match of the weekend. And then my third match of the weekend would be Ireland versus Wales, just because Ireland was such a dominant performance against Wales. And going into round 4, it's going to be exciting to see how it all pans out as we go. But I'm having absolute fun watching, Crew, and you've been educating me so much on this game, and I'm loving every moment of it. Man, Van der Merwe, that was a highlight. Watching him create that magic on the field with his hat tricks. And overall, just my team of the week has to be Ireland. Player of the week, Van der Merwe, just because it's impressive to score that many tries in a weekend. And I just really enjoyed it, Crew. If you enjoyed this reaction, let me know. And if I missed anything, let me know as well, Crew. You're teaching me a lot, and if you feel like I missed any points or want to highlight anything that I might have missed, I would love to know in the comments below, Crew. But I appreciate you. I love you. We will catch you on this next review when round 4 starts. And remember to always stay laser focused on your dreams and your vision, and remember that you're in control. Catch you, Crew. Peace.